So in this week's edition of the Weekend Roundup, we're going to take a look at all the mods released in the Giants Mod Hub for the week of May 13th through May 17th, 2019. This was another busy week in the Giants Mod Hub. I believe a total of 37 mods were either released or updated this week, and we're going to take a look at basically just the ones that were released this week as new mods, with the exception of one. We have one mod we're going to take a look at this week that was technically released last week. During the middle of the week, it got released. But by the time that I put the video together, it had been pulled from the Mod Hub for an update. So when I did the video last weekend, it was not in the Mod Hub, but it is now back in the Mod Hub after it's been updated. So it's only appropriate that I go ahead and give that one a little bit of a look also. So as we do with our typical weekend roundup videos, let's take a look at the Giants Mod Hub specifically and kind of do a quick, brief run through of all of the mods released or updated this week. So here we have the Mod Hub, and the old stream farm was the last mod to be updated last week. So the first mod that showed up this week was an update to the new Bartschlagen map. Take a look here, version 1.10. See that a fair bit has been added, modified, or fixed since the initial release. He's added traffic and parked cars. Grass was removed from the farmhouse. Workshop doors were enlarged, and so forth and so on. You can obviously come in here and take a look at the change log yourself, should you so wish. Then we had an update to the Metal Fac U741 cultivator. Then we saw two script mods released this week. In fact, these were the only two script mods that were released this week. Extended driving, which allows you to shift forward and reverse. Then use the accelerator to both go forward and reverse. Then we have a tip side HUD mod. Basically what this does is it puts a little icon and basically shows you where you are set to tip. Are you set to tip front, forward, side, left, right, back, or grain door? We had a placeable bunker silo that was released, some placeable hedges, pair of trailers. One is a single axle and one is a dual axle variant. We had a man truck and trailer combo get released. We had a Kroger overloader trailer get released. And now this trailer allows you to basically overload into seeders, fertilizer spreaders, lime spreaders, etc. We had an interesting weight gripping bracket get released. We had an released Coon fertilizer spreader, very similar to the in-game Coon fertilizer spreader. This one does have some alternate capacities to it. We saw the Homer Terra variant free DLC get released this week, and I did a specific video just on the Homer variant DLC, so we're not going to cover this at all other than just mentioning it here in the intro. Let's go on to the first page. Then the first page, obviously all of the mods listed on the first page were released or updated this week. So we have the Pickup 2014 Transport Service Truck. This came out last week, but it has now been updated to version 1.002 with the change log of basically saying fixed order function service. So if you recall when we did the weekend roundup last week, this truck, it didn't appear to have a working service trigger, which was odd because one of the functions is to be able to do service. I believe, I haven't tested this, but I believe that has now been corrected. So if you were interested in this mod but didn't download it or didn't use it after you saw that it wasn't working as far as the service function goes, it may now be corrected. Got a small vehicle trailer here. Got a weight, multi-mass MX weight. We have a reskin of the Coon baler as a Case IH baler. Then we have an interesting crane 3-point hitch option. We've got the CSZ pack. This came back in a furious fashion this week. The list has lots of folks all up in arms, all excited because of their famed CSZ pack from Farm Sim 17. Now, some interesting things seem to be excluded from this, which would be the pallet forks and the bale forks that were a part of the pack in Farm Sim 17. There are also some other adapters and other components that now seem to be missing. This time around, it seems to be very much a bucket pack. We did a standalone video just on the CSZ pack, so you can go ahead and find that in the mod reviews playlist. We're not going to talk more about CSZ pack beyond covering it right here in the intro. Now, the release of the Cote Garant PT 16000 slurry tanker. We had a new low loader get released this week, specifically for forestry. Take a look at that. The Claas Mega pack came out, and when we saw this listed in the testing thread, I was thinking it was something a little bit different than the Claas Mega harvester. I was thinking this was a mega pack, as in multiple tractors, maybe multiple implements, not the harvester that shares Mega in its name. Then we saw the release of the Wilson Pacesetter A train. This differs from the Wilson B train, which got released last week. This is the A train variant, and I have to say this is more typical to what we would see here in the East Coast of the United States. So I was really excited to see this get released. We had the Homer HR9 sugar beet header. Saw an update to the D754 truck pack. This came out several weeks ago, and it's a pretty cool truck pack. But something that was modified is the BP9. The support legs were changed. I believe this is the BP9. This was a tipper body that went onto the truck platform, and this had really short legs. In the first release, basically had to pick this up with a wheel loader, forklift, telehandler or something to get it on the back of the truck. Looks like that has now been modified, and the legs are the same height as the other trailer bodies that you can get in this pack. It's great to see that get updated. We saw a Lipinki map, and I did a map video on this specifically, but we're not going to cover that in the weekend roundup. Saw the release of the milling machine. This is basically a big universal mouth. Basically suck up anything, shoot it out into a trailer. Very convenient for folks that do not want to use front loaders, wheel loaders, or buckets to move around loose material. Now, this is the sprayer that I mentioned was released last week and then pulled out of the mod hub for an update, and therefore it wasn't in the mod hub when I did the weekend roundup video last week, but it is back. So we're going to take a look at this. This is the Hardy Navigator 6000 row crop sprayer. We had an update to the ZT 320, 323 tractors. This has gotten lots of updates recently to fix the front wheels and fix the sounds in this particular update. We had an update to the bale sell point in storage. Dorset added the ability to basically sell cotton bales here in the bale sell point. The round bale bunker silo was updated by Tarcisi007. I believe, even though there isn't a changelog here in the description, I believe he added this medium capacity bunker, because I don't remember there being bunkers that had these bales here set on their edge. Only bales that are the only bunkers that I recall were these here that had the kind of the pyramid stacks. What it did was it ended up leaving this huge air gap, silage heap, and the top of the bunker, which in my opinion just looked a little weird. Now he's got this in here, which is basically a little different orientation of the bales, and it has these bales here that run along the side of the bunkers that allow the edge of the silage to really come up flat, with these visually, I think it's a bit more appealing. We had an update to the Optiliner 106 trailer, fixed some graphical issues. An update to the VI 140 trailer. And then the last 4 mods that were released this week is a obstacle horse pack by Dorset. It is a lot of the static objects that were on Ravenport in the kind of the horse training area. He has basically brought over here and allowed you now to put them down as placeables. Back here. And we have a curved steel sheds pack. We're going to take a look at that. Then we have another fertilized spreader. This looks a lot like the Coon, just maybe a bit reskinned, but we're going to take a look at that one. And then we have this interesting mod, which we will take a decent look at here in a little bit, called Fuel Safe. It is a 3-point hitch or grapple fuel container. So as the screenshot shows, it's perfect for maybe a forestry situation where you could basically hook this up and take it deep into the forest and then basically be able to top off your forage harvester or your forwarder without having to basically risk running it out of fuel trying to get out of the forest. Those guys, that's kind of the quick rundown of the mods released this week. And let's take a look here at the daily updates thread and look at this giant list of mods that are currently in testing. As of the last update, which was Friday afternoon, Giants time, on the testing thread. We can see there are several PC-specific mods, including a couple maps. The Cantabrera Infinite map, this has been in testing a few times around now, so it has made its way back. Map called Hunter Farm. Then we can see we have the Swedish flag prefab. That was released this week, but is gone again. Saw that released today, actually, and now it has vanished. Wonder if there must have been a problem with that. Giants has been quick getting mods out, but they've been also quick at getting mods back in. This was literally released today, and it's gone now again. So there must have been a problem with it. We have some mods that were already released this week: the curved steel sheds, the bale sell point. But we have Farming Legend, the map that's out there, released. Here's the Fuel Safe that got released this week. Doll Ranch, believing that is going to be a map also. And then Meadowgrove also. So there's about 5 maps in testing currently between PC or console compatibility. And as of today, there are just 38 mods in testing or waiting to be tested based on the number of mods released this week. That is basically the equivalent of 1 week's worth of releases. And the average waiting time is down to just 3 days. Seems like just a couple weeks ago, the average waiting time was more like 3 weeks. Now gotten it down to 3 days. Quite astonishing the progress that they have made. Though there has been quite a flurry of mods released. That is for sure. So with that, let's go ahead and start talking about some of the mods that were released this week. First up, let's take a look at the Claas Mega Pack. Find this under Harvesters. Rolling over here, we have the Claas Mega 208, just $46,000. This is a steal of a deal, given the fact that the Bison Super holds a whole 3,500 liters worth of product, is $84,000. This one holds 8,000 liters of product and is just $46,000. Harvester does have some configuration options. We have the model up until the model unit of 1994. I suppose that means it's the 1994 model year or later. So basically what we have here is we've got an increased fuel tank. We have an increased engine and an increased storage capacity. So $14,000 can get us an additional 500 liters of storage and an additional 35 horsepower. Seems like a mighty steep price to pay to get just an additional 500 liters of capacity and 35 horsepower. With one warning light, two warning lights, one in the back, three warning lights. Now have one on both sides, and back to a single warning light. And we can get it with Trelleborg 650 75 R32 tires. You can see that is printed here on the side. Get it with 270 95 R4s. Oh my, these are like arrows. These are like low profile tires. 70 75 R32s. How many tire options are there? Sometimes when they only have these numbers, I get confused. So it's 650 75 R32. We have the kind of that with a narrow. And we have the 710 75 R32. 270. So then it's that with another narrow, and then back to the normal standard tires. Okay. So as configured with the additional 500 liters of capacity, one warning light, and the standard tires, we're talking about $60,000 to buy, $3,060 to lease, $600 per day, and $1,260 per operating hour. That's for the harvester itself. You can lease that up. And let's jump over here to then tools and then headers. Going over here, we have the Claas C600 header. That is a part of this pack, and it has a working width of 6 meters and 6 miles per hour working speed. No configuration options on this particular header, so let's go ahead and lease this thing on up. $12,500 to buy, $637 to lease, $125 per day, and $262 per operating hour. Claas Mega Pack, the Claas Mega Pack right here. So interesting, the header loads up backwards compared to what we're typically going to see with when we buy headers. Let's go ahead and just pick up a small header just as a frame of reference. Typical spawn is going to have them basically facing this direction, whereas the Claas Mega Pack, the header comes in backwards, which on this map is rather convenient because you don't have to try to back up your harvester here on the edge of the parking lot. You've got the whole area of the parking lot to connect this header. Doesn't look like I can look around. I'm going to have to exit the game, I believe, because I had my head tracking on. I went into the game, so I'll have to exit here briefly so I can look around. Let's take a look at the lights. First stage lights, second stage lights up the back, and then third stage lights gives us additional lights up there. We do have, of course, our beacon and four-way flashers front. Two on the outrigger arms there. Got left and right blinkers. Unfold the harvester. Top pops up a little bit, and the ladder rotates around. Pick that up. There are standard controls to move the intake wheel up and down and in and out. Then if we do disable straw swath, see we do have a little bit of animation that goes on there. Basically fold that up. Also have some sound going on. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear that over the run of the engine. And let's run this up here to the field. I'm going to cut the video here. I'm going to come back with you after I get this up here at the field and I get the game restarted, so we'll be able to look around in cab. Alright, so we've got the game restarted back here. We've got the Claas up here next to our test field. Now we can go ahead and kind of look around in cab a little bit. Really well detailed cab. This mod has been around for quite a while. It's kind of starting to show its age a little bit with the jaggedness there of the spy window back into the grain heap. Steering wheel doesn't look too terrible bad, but you can see a little bit of octagony there. Some of the angles there basically make up the steering wheel. You see the lights on the dash there under the wheel light up. Have illuminated gauges, which is nice. Animated gauges and an animated joystick. That's nice to see. Go ahead and turn this thing on. And let's hire worker off so we don't have to worry about basically driving. We don't see anywhere where we have an auger. Looking, I don't see an auger in there. Grain just seems to pile up. There you go. It's doing what it's supposed to do, right? There we have the Claas Mega pack. Change the Claas Mega 208 and the Claas C600 grain header. I'm going to go ahead and just let that run. And we're going to jump back down here to the shop and take a look at the next mod after we get rid of this, this header here. So next up, we've got the MAN TGS Agro Truck and Kroger HKD pack. So this mod is by Kaztan, and this is a self-propelled truck with tipper trailer on the end and a tipper module on the back. Oh my gosh, I can't talk today. So under trucks, we go over here. We have the MAN TGS 18.500, $150,000 for the truck and trailer body. Compare that to the MAN 18.500 4x4, which is just a semi truck for $130,000. Basically, you're paying $20,000 for a trailer that holds a trailer body, a tipper body. Holds 13,250 liters. See this trailer body holds all of the standard fill types here in the base game. As far as configuration options go, we can change rim color, change the main color, and we can change the design color. We only have so many options in the design color, which is the tipper body itself. We have blue, brown, dark green, regular green, black, or gray. Black. Then we have lizard wheel setups, or we could go with Nokian tires or Trelleborg and back to lizard. So as configured with all of the colors changed, we are at $153,300, $7,818 to lease, $1,533 per day, and $3,219 per operating hour. So this particular pack also includes a trailer. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. It's the Kroger HKD trailer. So let's see if we can find that one here. We have the AgriLiner HKD 402, $25,000. And holds 31 31,500 liters. So this is a dolly style trailer with 2 rear axles. Change the main color, match color of the truck, change the rims, if you so wish. And then we have Lizard Standard or wide tires. Under standard, we have basically traditional road tires. Wide tires are a little bit wider. We have Michelin tires, Nokian tires, and back to Lizard. Go ahead and just list this. See, this also has a trailer hitch on the back. A little curious if we're going to maybe be able to road train those together. Interesting. This truck, does it have a hitch on the front that works? Let's check that out. Saw a front hitch. I'm a little curious if the front hitch works or not. That it does indeed. Get a little bit more lined up, and let's go ahead and get a second one of these. The kind of person that has a hard time maneuvering dolly trailers, this front hitch can be quite useful because the hitch is a bit more responsive when you are dealing with a front, the steering axle right there, right by the hitch. That, and there is a reason why I left that trailer or that harvester running. Let's go up there and unload. See how that thing unloads. Obviously, this runs very, very nice when it's empty. Kind of a look. In cab here at the interior. Very nice looking interior. Specific functions other than just opening the cover. So let's open the cover. Let's get out. It's out. Oh my, so be cautious. The pipe on this harvester is a little low. You want to be careful that you are far enough away and that your trailer is not too terrible tall, because look at that. Not a whole lot of clearance. There you go. Take a look and see what our dump options are on this. So we can tip side back, tip side left, right, or grain door. And we can do that on back. Let's see here, back, left, right, and grain door. So we can do that also on the trailed tippers also. Drop that off. Let's just go ahead and go on up here to the sell point while we're at it and just take a look at the unload animation. Let's check our lights. First stage lights. Second stage lights includes the light bar on the top. Second stage includes some rear lights and third lights. Okay. 4 ways. Right. Brake and reverse lights. begins. We are dumping rear door. And there we go, guys. That is the Man TGS Agro Truck and Kroger HKD pack. And that mod is by Kaztan. Next up, we've got a weight. We've got the Multi-Mass MX weight by Jonas Dansley Paris and Com. So, well, all of that is going to be in the lower third there on the screen. So let's go over here to weights. And we have the MX Multi-Mass weight here. Weight is 1,200 kilograms. Add 400 kilograms to it, an additional 800 kilograms to it, or just the standard. What it does is it makes the weight longer, sticks it out front, and it has some plates that get dropped on. Then this little flag pole here, not really a flag pole, but just a warning stick to show you where the front of the weight is. That extends on out. We can change it color from gray to green, black, and a darker gray in color. And then the price, fully equipped with all of its weight, is $4,800, $244 to lease, $48 per day, and $100 per operating hour. We're going to take a look at it. So, interesting the levers on there. I don't know if that's supposed to... That's for adjusting the ride height of the weight. Those reverse on what those rear levers are for. Do have a front hitch. Let's go ahead and get a tractor and just see if that front hitch does anything. And what am I doing? Get a couple trailers. Let's get a little one with a ball pin hitch. And then we'll get one with a ball hitch. See if we can hook up both of those. See the front little warning stick pin cap. See? Wait. Hitch does indeed work when you have a kind of a pin hitch. See if it works with the ball hitch. Nope. Doesn't work with that hitch at all. So you can use this weight with a pin hitch trailer, but not a ball hitch trailer. All right, next up we've got the ripping bracket. Interesting little mod. This is by the Swedish Bana team. Let's go ahead and get rid of these trailers. This thing has a hitch on it. Nope. Let's go ahead and get rid of these trailers. This mod can be found in the miscellaneous section under tools. We have the lizard ripping bracket. See, this thing has a 3-point connection on one side and then kind of a bar sticking out from a brace on the other. We do have the ability to change color on our weight. This is technically a weight that is 500 kilograms, $1,300 to buy with the color change, $66 to lease, $13 per day, and $27 per operating hour. Now let me show you how this is supposed to work. Kind of an interesting creation. Let's hook that up. And now let's go buy something that has a crane on it. Forestry. Oh, let's get the Komatsu. So this is kind of an interesting thing. Extend this. Get that around. Let's open it all up. The way this works is basically we can show off how terrible my skills are with a crane, right? But what we're supposed to be able to do with this is basically pick a tractor up. I mean, not literally like I just did. Okay, but we can now pick a tractor up. Oh, that's not good. Let's not do that. Yeah, so we can pick a tractor up with this, this grappling hook. Did we so wish or have a need? Okay. And at all other times, it basically serves as a front weight or a rear weight. But it does position itself such that you could use anything with a grappling hook, grappling claw, basically pick up or tow or whatever a tractor that had connected. Upright. Alright guys, so that is the, let's get this back. Lost my page. That is the gripping bracket by the Swedish Bonatine. Here. And take a look at our next mod, which is Fuel Safe, which has a similar functionality. This can be found under forestry equipment. Not under vehicles, but under tools, forestry equipment. And we have Fuel Safe, $8,500. Basically what this is, it is a 1,700 liter fuel tank that has a 3-point hitch connection and a gripping bar at the top for a grapple. See, we can change the color on this, should we so wish. Does add an additional $200 to the price. $443 to lease, $87 per day, and $182 per operating hour. So let's go ahead and get our New Holland track. Oh my gosh, that thing is huge. Better pick that up from the back. I don't think I'll be able to haul that from the front. That up. The way this works, we also have forks, loader forks, so we could pick this up maybe with a telehandler or front loader. Let's go over here and fill this up with fuel. Start filling. Come on. See, this takes fuel, 1,700 liters. You don't need to fill it all the way, okay? Then we could transport this to wherever we wanted it. I mean, you could probably sit this in the, you could buy this and put it in your yard and have a small fuel tank, basically, for your farmyard if you wanted to. Let's drop that down there. So the theory is maybe you could fill this up with fuel, bring it to the edge of the forest where you're doing your forestry, and then come in here with your overloader, you're hauling completely forgot what it's called, forwarder, and basically claw it like so. You'd probably want to claw it from the middle, right? So, and then you could pick it up and literally put it on the back of your forwarder. So, take it into the woods and basically position it next to maybe where you are, where you're doing your forestry, and then you don't have to worry about basically your tree harvester, trucks, or anything like that running out of fuel, because basically now you have a mobile 1,700 liter fuel tank. Now have actually brought with you. That is a pretty cool mod. I like how the top gripping bar is on a little bit of a pivot. It's kind of interesting. Make it around. Cool. And that again is by the North Modding Company. All right, up next we've got the Palafinger Forest Shield. So this is yet another forestry mod, and it is basically a 3-point hitch crane. Okay, so we have this one right here. We have the long neck Combi Plus. That is in-game 3-point hitch log grab, but you could also use it to pick up either of the two mods that we just looked at. But then we have this particular mod here, Palafinger Forest Shield. So it kind of takes part, it kind of looks a little bit like the winch mod have availability on the PC side of things. Adds a shield here so that you could use it to push logs around. Have a little bit of a trailer hitch, so you could use this on a pin hitched log trailer. Then we have an extendable arm, kind of like the Man forestry truck or the forwarder that we just looked at, the Komatsu. And you can use this to move small logs around or load them onto a small trailer. We do have a choice of color. So we have white, cyan blue, so I guess it's a bluish color. We have green, yellow, blue, orange, or red. And that is pretty much all the options we've got. So with the color choice, it's $26,300 to buy, $1,341 to lease, $263 per day, and $552 per operating hour. Go ahead and get in our New Holland again. This mod is by Ready90, and it is available for all platforms. think I've forgotten to mention on the other mods if they are available for all platforms or not. Let's go here and get our front weight. The little counterbalance. The way this works is we unfold front loader tool to X. Animation of the arms unfolding. We can hit then this. Lower front loader tool. Right down on the ground, so now we have a stable platform. Then we can left mouse up and down. Moves the main arm up and down. Left mouse left and right. Move main arm left and right. Right mouse click up and down. Typically it extends the second arm section. It's typical with the controls. Left and right will extend or retract the boom arm. And then double mouse click up and down will open and close claw. And left and right will rotate claw. And all of those are assuming that you've gone in here, because there's been a little bit of discussion as of late about this option. All of this assumes that you have easy arm controls off. Okay? I always have this off because I don't like easy arm controls. I think it's, well, not so nice and easy. So all of those controls assume that you have easy arm controls off. That is here under General Settings, which is the screen that looks like a monitor with the little gear. That is pretty much it. That is the, it's called, that is the Powfinger Forest Shield by Ready 90. Again, is available for all platforms. That off. Wait. And next up, we have the Coon Axis 402 Plus Pack. This is a fertilized spreader and is by Ilos 0397, and again is available for all platforms. So if we go to Tools and then Fertilizer Technology, see we have the Coon Axis 402 Plus. We have the Coon Axis 40.2 MEMCW. Okay, $20,000, holds 3,200 liters of product and is fertilizer only. We have the Axis 402 Plus, holds up to 3,200 liters of product and is fertilizer only. 24 meter working width, 4 meter working width, 12 miles per hour on both. But this allows you to basically kind of buy into your larger fertilizer spreader. So one problem with this fertilizer spreader is this thing is massive. Let's go ahead and just lease this just as a size comparative and take a look. You can see the bin here, the line right here. Well, what the Coon Axis 402 does is it is basically 40.2 without the top hopper. Okay, so it starts out at 1,400 liter capacity. You can add a metal extension ring to that to get 1,900 liters worth of capacity. Or we could add the whole top hopper to get it back up to the 3,200 liter capacity. And at that point, it is pretty much the same as the original mod. Get it here with 1,400 liters and 1,900 liters. See, as equipped with 1,400 liters, it is $16,500. With 1,900 liters, it is $18,000. And with 3,200 liters, it is up to $20,000 again. Get it with a cover or not. $1,020 fully configured. Lease $841 in the smallest configuration to lease, $165 per day and $346 per operating hour. Let's take a look here at the base Coon. This is the in-game version here on our right. And you can see now we have the modded Coon Axis 402 Plus Pack spreader. And then on the left, far left, we have the 1900 variant. See, they're the exact same, except this one has the top hopper, most capacity, and these two have a smaller capacity. But they do work much better for a smaller tractor. So this big Coon can be quite heavy when it's full of fertilizer, and can look a little bit out of place on even a medium-sized tractor like the T6 here. But this spreader right here is a bit more in place with respect to this size tractor. Significantly less capacity by about half. Still looks pretty darn good. Thing I wanted to see. We do have a power hookup for this mod. Does the original Coon have a power hookup or not? Does indeed. Okay, so we do also have a power hookup for the original Coon. Okay, so that's what I wanted to look and see. So, next up, let's take a look at another fertilized spreader that we have. We have the Chateau Gaspardo Primo by JD Manu 96. Is also under fertilizing technology. And here it is right here. So it holds 32,010 liters worth of product. Holds solid fertilizer only. 24-meter working width, and again, 12 miles per hour. And like I said, it looks an awful lot like the Coon. Just maybe a bit rebranded, recolored. No configuration options. $20,000 to buy. $10,020 to lease. $200 per day and $420 per operating hour. This have a power plug next, and like I said, this looks just like the Coon, only with a different color. Some different graphics, different color on the cover. But if you're looking for something a little bit different, maybe you're running a, I assume that this is maybe a South American style brand, or maybe a Spanish brand, something of that level of influence, then this particular variant might be something that would interest you. Next up, we're going to continue the fertilizing theme with the Hardy Navigator 6000 row crop variant by JHHG Modding. All right, so let's go into crop protection. And we have the Hardy Navigator. This is the base version, $115,000, 36-meter working width, 6,000 liters. That's pretty much it. There are no configuration options. Then we have the Hardy Navigator 6000 row crop by JHHG Modding. This mod is available for all platforms. And we don't really see in the description on ModHub as to what was changed from version 1 to version 1.0.0.1. So we don't really know why it was pulled out of the ModHub and then brought back. But at any rate, see, we get this one is kind of Americanized. We don't have the EU warning signs. We have the safety triangle that we typically see here in the United States. Go with Australian sign, says oversize. And then we have a choice of 30-inch single row crop, 30-inch twin row crop. So these tires are, of course, spaced out such that if you had crops planted in 30-inch widths, that they basically would be able to drive between the rows. We have 36-inch single row crop and 36-inch twin row crop. These are spaced out a little bit further apart because now we are working with 3-foot spacing, 36-inch spacing between the rows. And then we have wide tires, 30-inch, 36-inch. So you can see how these narrow tires are extending past the fender here. If we go back to 30, they are inside of the fender. And then we can go GPS configuration, Starfire, receiver on the top. This has no function. This is all just visual. Starfire 6000 or no. Let's go ahead and just get this in this configuration. $118,170 to buy, $6,026 to lease, $1,181 per day, and $2,481 per operating hour. Of hoses, a nice animation there on the jack. Let's go ahead and get some liquid fertilizer. Fill that up. That's it. The one thing I'm not a huge fan on with either Navigator 6000 is basically this swing tongue action. See, when you turn, the tongue kind of swings. I get it, it's so you can make a tighter turn. Now if I want to reverse, it like shifts it to the center position. And then, when I stop, it shifts it back to the side. Well, it's all fine and dandy that you want to have a nice, straight, and solid tongue. You're reversing, but let's say you are... Alright, see? I mean, if you're not completely square, when you stop, tongue shifts. And if you're trying to put stuff away in a building, and you're trying to put it all away nice and tight to maximize your space, you can really run into an issue where when you go to disconnect from this thing, next thing you know, the tongue flops over and it smacks into something. Or on Black Mountain, I had this for a bit. And I had a hard time sometimes getting it out of the building because when I came back to hook up to it, I wasn't completely square. And as soon as I connected to it, the tongue flopped a little bit and shifted the whole body of the harvest or the sprayer over. I really wish there was a way to go in here and basically lock tongue in position, so then it didn't have that ability to kind of flop around. We're going to do, purpose for coming up here is one, to see that it does indeed still spray, and two, I'm going to back these tires up into the crop and see if I get any damage. Being that the row crop, they shouldn't do any damage at all. No. Is that how the Hardy normally looks? I don't recall it looking like that. That is an interesting spray. That's how the normal one looks. That is pretty sweet looking. Yeah, I don't recall it looking like that when I used it on Black Mountain. And that has been a few months ago. So tell me in the comments, is that how the Hardy sprayer in-game sprayer looks? Or is that a custom spray animation on this thing? Backed on in there. Pulled out. No crop destruction. Verify crop destruction's on. Let's get some swing here. Crop destruction is indeed on. We do not get any crop destruction with the trailer itself with the row crop tires. So that's good to see. All right, so that is the Hardy Navigator 6000 row crop by JHHG Modding. Drop that off. Next up, we have the Homer HR9 header. Here. All right. We can find this under Beat Technology. Completely drew a blank there. And we have the HR12, which is the in-game Homer header. Big old 12-row header. 5.2 meter working width, 7 miles per hour. And then we have the Homer Exacta HR9, 9-row header trailer, or header. A little bit narrower, just 4 meters in working width, 7 miles per hour, $78,000. So it's about $20,000, $30,000 cheaper than the other header, a little bit narrower. But again, you aren't going to buy the Homer header trailer. This would be a bit more manageable to drive down the road than that 5.4 meter wide header. I think we need to go in too much detail on this, other than just it's a a narrower header. It's had some of the 3 of the rows cut off of it on the width thing, but beyond that, I mean, it does everything that the in-game HR12 does. Okay, and that is by Chris U. Price, CHRISU. So it's Chris U70. Again, is available for all platforms. So next up, we've got the Case IH LB343R baler. Find this under Tools and then Baling Technology. And here we have the Case IH baler. And if we look at this and compare it to, say, the Coon, it does look a bit different. The Coon is a bit more squared, a bit more angular. Let's go ahead and get both. Basically, this looks an awful lot like the Case square baler from Farm Sim 17 that's been brought forward into 19. So there are no configuration options on this. $155,000 to buy, $7,905 to lease, $1,550 per day, and $3,255 per operating hour. Side by side, they look fairly similar in overall size. Maybe the Case is just a hair shorter. I think we've got the horsepower to actually operate it with this particular baler or particular tractor. What we can see is if we have hose connections. I don't see any hoses, so unless they magically appear, no hose hookups. A little disappointing, but then again, Coon right beside it doesn't have hose hookups either. It's a Giants model, so what's the excuse for that, right? Got nice animation on the chain there. Basically raises and lowers pickup wheel. Fold the baler. Let's go ahead. Front stage lights. Rear lights. Third lights. Turn this thing on. And there you go. You have a beacon on top. This mod is by... Oh my gosh. Names are MEFIUFS. Yeah. I'm not even going to try. Yeah, okay. You can see it. It's listed in the lower third of the video. Moment. Set up. Let's connect, and there we go. Up next, we have the Cote Garant PT 16,000 slurry tank. Let's take a look here under Tools, Slurry Tanks. We have the Cote Garant PT 16,000 that holds 16,000 liters, $66,000, and has a working width of no meters. Because we're going to have to use this to actually hook up. Looks like it does have a spreader nozzle right here. Doesn't say it needs a working width. So the gooseneck distributor, this right here. Go with a 30-meter bar distributor, which extends out and then has two kind of cup distributors on either end. Or we could go with a 3-point hydraulic. And at that point, we could then connect one of the other distributor options. That's gooseneck distributor. We have Trelleborg standard tires, wide tires. Then we have Michelin standard and wide. And those are our two tire choices. Then we have a choice of color between green, black, or stainless steel. Pretty cool. Take a look at this one, and then the 3-point hitch. And then we could basically attach, maybe, let's see if we can attach this to it. Here we have the 3 slurry tanks. You have hose hookups. Can hook this up. See, the hose does hook up here to the top. We do that connection. This mod is available for all platforms, PC and console. You could go through and cultivate and apply our slurry that way. Or we could come over here and get either the one with the gooseneck or get one with the 30-meter booms. Get one with the 30-meter booms. We unfold that. And then basically if we turn it on, we'll have the distribution nozzles on either side of the boom, basically swinging back and forth and applying slurry in a much wider path. Of course, that is also going to apply slurry in a much faster variety, so we're going to go through it a whole lot quicker also. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and break here for the first part of the video. And then we're going to separate this up into a second part. We're going to take a look at some trailers, some more implement trailers. We're going to take a look at the placeables and the 2 scripts. Then wrap up part 2 of the weekend roundup. So come on back here for the start of the second part.